This is Andi off Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and for second down and bounds, I'm delighted to be joined by Eddie.
Oh, you're hungry, you are. You are hungry. You had me yesterday when I was absolutely Donald Ducked. Just got off a flight, done 4 hours of media, and now straight up, I just got off the stage after 2 press conferences. You were straight in. Straight in.
Same against my Red?
Whatever you want, mate. I'm here to be used and abused, don't worry.
Views, Ed, views. That's what it's about. Obviously, we're here today. A little announcement, well, 2 little announcements. So start off with the one behind you. We can see Regis program. Maurice announced a brilliant fight. Talked about how it was making it.
Do you know what? Just as a fight fan, sometimes fights seem quite obvious, but people talk about them and you think that's not going to happen. And someone just said, you know, it's a brilliant fight, Regis Prograis against Maurice Hooker. And what happened was Regis Prograis came to the Mikey Garcia, Jesse Vargas press conference, and he started sort of calling out Mikey Garcia. And I went to him, pipe down. If you want to fight anyone, fight Maurice Hooker. And he went, no problem. So I was like, shit. So I phoned up Rock Nation and said, listen, do you fancy the Regis Prograis fight? Mo said, yeah, let's do it. This is the kind of fight that boxing's all about. You know, 2 top 5 guys in the world, 2 former world champions who are willing to fight each other, not mess around, not try and wait for other shots. And it's funny because you've got 2 brilliant champions in that division, Josh Taylor and Ramirez, both of which, no fault of their own, have to take meaningless fights. So this fight becomes the best fight of the division right now. And it's so good for boxing that it's getting made. And both teams really confident. Like for me, it's a 50-50 fight. Maurice is a big lump, big boy. And Ludabella, Sam, they think it's a big knockout win for Regis. And Bomac and the team at Rock Nation think that Maurice stops Regis Prograis. So brilliant fight, April 17th, MGM, Maryland. It's going to be a great night.
Both obviously have those 2 defeats on the record, one with Ramirez with Hooker and obviously Regis recently with Josh. Who's the more pressure on?
I mean, I guess Mo has come back with a win. So, you know, you could say Regis because of back-to-back defeats. But you have to take your hat off to Regis Prograis. I mean, I promoted his last fight. It's one of the best fights I've ever seen live. Fight of the year with Josh Taylor. He's going straight into another fight of the year. This is what fans want to see. And fans will respect you and give you the chance and give you the support if you are to lose in those kind of fights. Do you know what I mean? So, of course, you don't want to lose. You especially don't want back-to-back defeats. But the fans and the broadcasters recognise that you are willing to provide entertainment. You are willing to test yourself. You are willing to be in the fights people want to see. And that's great for us because, believe it or not, promoters do want to make the best fights out there. But sometimes managers, trainers, fighters will say, oh, I'd like a little warm-up fight there. Fuck the warm-up fights. No one's interested in them. But I do understand Mo had one in Phoenix. And when you lose a unified championship, you are within your right to have a little comeback fight. But Regis said, no, I'm good. Stick me in. And I respect that.
I know you said that Regis turned up at the original Mikey Garcia, Jesse Vargas press conference, looking to get the winner of that bout. But whoever does win that bout, are you interested in making Regis? Because I know you said, say if Mikey was to win, for example, you talked about the possible Manny Pacquiao fight. Are you interested in Regis facing one of those?
I think when you win a fight like this, all of a sudden you become a big front runner in all the big fights. Devin Haney, who arrives tomorrow, he's going to be moving to 140 at some time. He wants Mikey Garcia. He wants the winner of this fight. All these guys have got so much dog in them. They're up for challenging themselves. They want the most money, the biggest fights, the bright lights, and that's what we want as well. So you're going to see boxing really flourish if we keep making fights like this. And I think it's so good for boxing that these kind of fights take part. And I think the winner of this fight is going to be looking, people keep saying going to be looking at Mikey Garcia. See the Jesse Vargas fight on Saturday night. This is going to be a tough fight, and I can't wait. Good times for boxing.
And obviously the other announcement today, Mark Castro, talked about him, won't be known to many, so just tell me about him.
Well, he's known over here. I mean, he's the biggest star of the amateur game in the last few years. When I came to the US, I said, right, I want to identify the top young talent in the US and I want to sign them all. And everyone said to me, the one you want is Castro. Right, this was 2 years ago. So I've been following him, waiting, and I've been harassing him. Keith Connolly signed him, met with his dad, met with his family last year, and we've just been on and on. This kid is an absolute superstar. Every now and again, someone comes along, obviously American, Mexican heritage, from California, looks like a top model, can fight like fuck. He's a 17-time national champion, 2-time world amateur champion. He's won everything. He's been to Russia and won titles. He's been all around the world and won titles. This kid is ready to go. So I'm so excited. And right now in the US, we have unrivaled the best young team of fighters. You know, Mark Castro, Amo Williams, Raymond Ford, Ofer Jones, Reshat Mati, Nikita Ababi. I'm sure I've missed some out and I'll get told off. Diego Pacheco, Alexis Espino. Like, we have got such a great team of young fighters. And for me, it's so inspirational to be working with young talent, because we get the chance to guide them, just like we did with AJ, just like we did with Callum, just like we did with Cal Yafai, with Luke Campbell. That's so enjoyable, you know, especially when you take a kid now, you know, I sit down with him and I'm saying to him, probably debut here April 17th, then do you know what? I think we'll take you to Tottenham Hotspur in front of 70,000 on the AJ card, box there. Then you know what we're going to do? We'll take you to Saudi, fight out there, probably give you a little trip to Italy and Spain. He's like, oh. And it's so good to see that enjoyment, that spirit, that energy of a young kid who's about to embark on a very tough journey. But when you join Matchroom, there's no fucking around. There's so many promoters out there, they ain't got the money in the bank to be doing the fights they're doing. They don't pay people on time. They don't pay people in full. It is a shit business full of horrible arseholes. Ask about Matchroom's reputation. Second to none. We don't lie to you. We deliver everything I promise is going to be delivered to you. We pay you every penny that's due to on time. We give you the exact path to greatness. All you have to do is walk it. And the only person that can be at fault if you don't make it is you. And how refreshing as an athlete to know that I've got a team of people that will back me 1,000,000% and will provide the exact opportunities I need to achieve greatness. There is absolutely nowhere else you should be in the sport than with Matchroom. Mark Castro has made a great decision, and I will give him every opportunity to become a pound-for-pound superstar.
And obviously, just away from the announcements, I wish I left a microphone in my head. Obviously, just away from the two announcements today, just a couple of things I want to touch on. Josh Taylor's mandatory defence announced against Kong Song. Just your thoughts on that Kong Song?
It's not his fault. Do you know what I mean? Look, Josh Taylor's been on a most amazing run of fights. He beat Barancic and Regis Prograis, you know, massive. Unfortunately, one of the problems in boxing is sometimes you get a mandatory against someone that doesn't deserve to be mandatory. No disrespect to Kong Song. He don't deserve to be mandatory. He ain't good enough to share a room with Josh Taylor. But Josh Taylor deserves an easy night. So that's fine, you know, and Josh Taylor has done brilliantly well. What we all want to see is you want to see Josh Taylor against Ramirez. But unfortunately, because of the politics of boxing, you may have to wait a year to see that. And hopefully that happens soon.
Obviously, we also saw Josh has linked up with Ben Davison. What are your thoughts on their partnership?
I think Ben Davison's a great trainer. You know what I was thinking? When was I thinking it? Last night? I was thinking that I really hope we see, and this is no disrespect to the older trainers, but I really hope we see the emergence of some great young trainers in our country. Because, you know, there's so many people who have left the sport who have got such a great boxing brain, I think can give so much back to the sport. I mean, you've got what they might not be like to be called this, but the older school trainer now. Tony Sims, Joe Gallagher, Rob McCracken, you know, even Dave Coldwell, he sort of merged between the two. And then you've got the new age trainer coming in, Shane McGuiggins, who's almost actually going towards that older, you know, and now you talk about Ben Davison. Ben Davison done such a great job with Tyson Fury, and now he's training with Billy Joe Saunders, now he's training with Josh Taylor. All of a sudden, he's got a great team. But there are other people out there as well. Andy Lee did an incredible job with Tyson Fury. He's probably gone under the radar a little bit. Andy Lee has got a great boxing brain. Sorry, Adam Booth as well, in the older generation of trainer, and he's still a whippersnapper. But I really feel that Andy Lee and those guys, Darren Barker, you know, Tony Bellew, George Groves, who else was I thinking the other day? I mean, even like DeGale, like people, I don't think Darren Barker really wants to be a trainer, but he's got such a great head on it. Kevin Mitchell. You know, these are people that I believe can be top trainers, but you've got to have the passion for it. You know, you can make a lot of money as a trainer, a lot of money, especially in today's market, but it's not. People think that training a fight, Anthony Crolla was the other one I was thinking about, right? People think that being a trainer is like an amazing job and like, yeah, you get to walk out and I'm next fighter and that. Mate, you've got to go and open the fucking gym at 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, I see the work Tony Sims puts in and Joe Gallagher. They are relentless. 5 o'clock in the morning going out doing sledge runs in the snow. You know, on a Saturday, on Christmas Day, I think Tony Sims was training Martin Ward. You know, the amount of energy and the amount of commitment that you have to put in is not easy. But I really hope that those fighters can give something back to the sport. And they'll probably take a few years to enjoy themselves first and then come back to it. Ricky Hatton, you know, another guy who can be a great trainer. But as to be a great trainer, you have to have unrivaled commitment. In fact, scrap that. To be great at anything, you have to have unrivaled commitment and unrivaled drive. You will not be great at anything you do if you do not make sacrifices and do not go above and beyond the call of duty. Because you have to be relentless, you have to work your absolute nuts off in any profession. Doesn't matter if it's me, them, you. You know, you have got to make sure that when you are done at the end of the day and you are funked and you've done a million interviews, that you're walking around the lobby out there thinking, who else can I get? Who else can I get? Who else can I get? You know, I've known you a long time. You used to ask me for jobs, right? But you've always been grafting on the circuit and you've done really well because you've worked hard. But it's going above and beyond. It's just about outthinking people, outsmarting people. And when people go to bed, when people are going out thinking, fucking hell, I'm in Dallas, I'm going to go for a few beers. Way, you go, I'm not. I'm going to go and weasel around the hotel and nick Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, Devin Haney. And I'm going to do interviews that are going to do 100, 200, 300,000. That's the difference between greatness. And you can be great in anything you do. You ain't got to be a professional footballer to be great. You can be the best fucking dustman on the estate. It don't matter. But if you're the one that's out there on the back singing a little song going, hey, morning, darling, hey, then you're great at what you do.
Eddie, firstly, I appreciate the word. Secondly, you're really in the mood today, aren't you?
I don't know. I wasn't earlier, but I've had a cup of coffee, so I'm buzzing. I've got IFL over there. Look, another snake waiting to hiss out the grass at me. So, no, I just think I like. I don't know. I like just trying to spread a little bit of, not even love, just positive energy to say to people, it doesn't matter what you do. You have to try and be the best at what you do. Doesn't matter, like I said, if you work on the bins, if you're a boxing promoter, if you work on a YouTube channel, if you're a politician, if you're a banker, you know, if you're a lawyer, it doesn't matter. Everyone's got their own world, everyone's got their own life. The key is to be happy. That's the most important thing. So it doesn't mean like if you work really hard and you try and be the best you can be, you live a happy life. But at least if you have purpose in life, you know, I went into this the other day for about 20 minutes. If you have a purpose, it should bring you that happiness. If you have passion for what you do, it should bring you that happiness. Do you know what I mean? And success will bring you happiness. Not always. Money don't automatically mean you're happy, but I think you probably live a better life, but it doesn't mean that you're happy. But it gives you opportunities to experience things you might not be able to achieve or experience.
Eddie, before I do let you go, back to box, just want to quickly get your thoughts. Saw Mike copied your tweet earlier, the rumoured pay-per-view numbers for Wilder Fury 2, around 800 to 850,000. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I saw a Boxing Scene said 700 to 750, so they're a bit, basically I've asked them both and they said, looks like it's high 7s, 800s. Exactly the number I said it would do, I think I said 700, 800,000. Disastrous for them, because they were budgeting 1.1 million to break even, and a little bit disastrous for Fox and ESPN, understanding that most of those numbers came from streaming capacity. The problem is, I think people are starting to realise that $80 for a pay-per-view is too much money, especially when there's no undercard. You can't just rob people. Right? You can just every now and again walk up to them, tickle their pockets a little bit, and you might find a tenner in there or something like that. You can't go into their homes, open their drawers, empty their jewellery, and run off with it into the night. So it's all one thing. It's one thing asking the public to pay, but it's another thing taking liberties. And $80 is a liberty. It's a liberty. It's 60 quid, right? We get stick for £19.95, and I understand that stick, by the way. No one likes to pay, do they? But for 60 quid or 65 quid, that's a liberty with no undercard. And I think there's an example. I mean, Aram said it was going to do 2 million, right? So a little bit out. But to set a business model to break even at 1.1 is madness. So someone has done their bollocks on what is supposed to be the biggest fight of the year. Terrible business. But I just think it's a sign of the time where people are streaming more, people want more value for money. And as well, there is a problem with illegal streams. You know, and actually, people think, the one thing I would say about illegal streams is this. People think that illegal streaming is clever, right? there is that sort of mentality online, isn't it? Like, got a link, got the stream, mate. Yeah, fucking hell, I ain't got. But the problem is, when you're paying £19.95 or £65, at that price point, you're encouraging people to illegally stream, right? For me, at £19.95, if I can sit down and have 4 or 5 hours of great boxing, great main event with a great undercard, and a nice clear HD stream or proper service, I'm willing to do it. If it's 65 quid, that's when you're going to go, 65 quid, Jesus Christ. Anyone got a stream? But understand one thing about streams, and I mean this, you're taking money out of a fighter's pocket, because people don't realise that fighters, when you do a pay-per-view show, virtually all of the money goes to the fighters, right? So what you're actually doing is you're actually taking money out of their pocket. So I would like people just consider that. But the problem is, at that price point, you're going to encourage it more and more.
Just quickly get your thoughts as well on John Fury's quotes with his interview with IFL the other day. He said,
Can't sleep.
You can't sleep, and Tyson will break your heart.
And he wants $500 million for the fight. There you go, $500 million for the fight. That shows you how much they want the fight. John Fury is bloody great. I think he's bloody great. In fact, I said to AJ today, maybe we should just do a big pay-per-view. AJ's dad, John Fury's dad, AJ, Fury, like, they're all great characters, you know. And John Fury, I don't really know him that well, but what I do know is he speaks with a lot of passion, and he cares about his son. So I can't knock him for that. I would like to say, last night I had 9 hours sleep, slept extremely well. Every night I sleep extremely well. He actually thinks that, for some reason, that Tyson Fury winning, I was really disappointed, and like, he don't know me, because the answer is I wasn't. I wanted him to win that fight because I know he will fight AJ. $500 million could be a problem, but if that's what he wants, we'll try and give it to him. Don't know how, but it shows you how much he wants to fight. But no, I like John Fury. I think he's good for the game, and I think he's very loving towards his son, which ultimately, the only one thing that we've probably got in common is that family's everything. So, other than that, he's a lot tougher than me, so I don't want to say too much. He might spark me out.
Eddie, before I let you shoot and I let the other vultures come and have their go with you, what would you like to say to everybody before I talk to you again tomorrow?
Just generally, have a great Christmas. Oh no, well, is it?
It's February.
Oh no, February. No. Well, when it gets there, have a great Christmas. What would I like to say? I would like to say, tune in this Saturday, because this is a great card. This is a great night of boxing. We've got a lot of fights coming up. I'm trying to deliver 50-50 main events, because sometimes what happens is you get a big star and you ain't got any money for the opponent, right? So, like, we know we've got Jesse Vargas, Mikey Garcia, great fight, Calify, Chocolatito, great fight, Julio Cesar Martinez, great fight. This is another example, PROGRAIS-HOOKER. And another example is Scott Quigg against John O'Carroll next week. Because there's an example where some people going to me, oh, is that main event? It's like, yeah. It's like, oh, well, oh, is it? It's a fucking great fight. It's a 50-50 fight between two guys trying to win a world title. Again, another one challenge for a world title. Josh Kelly against Avanesian. Brilliant, brilliant fight. 50-50 fight that you can't pick them. So, yeah, I would just like to say thank you. I would like to say keep supporting the fighters. I would like to say keep watching Boxing Social and other outlets that are out there. But most of all, I would like to say make sure that you subscribe to Matchroom Boxing YouTube channel, because the content is different gravy.
I'm sure I'll find a way to cut that one out. Eddie, appreciate your time as always. That was brilliant. And I'll speak to you tomorrow. Thanks, Speech Boxing Social.
Cheers, mate.